Okay.
So this is Connections Over Coffee, and all we do is we just chat and get to know each other. You read in the meetup what we're about, and since a lot of us are solopreneurs, we oftentimes don't have that capability of being able to visit with friends. And even though when we're on our jobs we're supposed to be working, it still has a social aspect to it, because we have lunch with our friends, or we can chat with them in between projects or whatever. And when you're a solopreneur, you don't have any of that. So, here's Carmela. Carmela is my co-mod. So we're going to welcome Carmela in this morning. Hi, Carmela. How are you? She's on mute currently. Carmela, we know you're probably just getting settled in. She sometimes
Okay, there we go.
Yay!
I couldn't get my thing to click off. I had to click another button first.
I get it. My computer's not working, so I'm actually on my phone today. So it's all good.
Okay, good.
So anyway, I want to introduce Carmela to you. Carmela is my co-mod, and I am, bear with me here, I am looking on there's my participants, because I'm on my phone, so I'm a little out of like a fish out of water here today. So I'm making Carmela my co-host, and she is the co-host, co-mod of this call, of this group, the Connections Over Coffee. And for those of you that are doing things on Zoom, I will share with you, if you don't have a co-host or a co-mod, if you get bumped off of the call for some reason, ask me how I know this. If you get bumped off of the call for some reason, it makes the very first person that signed on the host. And oftentimes they're not sure what to do if they've never been a host before. And so they're kind of just hanging out there like, where did Kathy go and what do I do now? So I have a co-host or a co-mod for all of my calls now, and Carmela is my co-host, co-mod. And then, of course, my daughter Jennifer is on, and she understands how the Zoom call works. And many of you may understand as well. But if you make a co-host or co-mod, Zoom automatically gives them the power to let you back in the room, because Zoom requires that you either have a waiting area, which those of you that tapped into this call got the message that you were in the waiting area waiting for me to let you in, or you have to have a passcode. And I find the passcode to be a little cumbersome, because I don't know how many times I've tried to tap into a Zoom call and I'm like, where in the world's the passcode? What is it? I don't know how to get in. And it's a little frustrating. So I chose, when I set up this room, to do the waiting room. And so what happens if you happen as the host to get bumped out, the co-host has to know to let you back in the room. Or you're kind of blocked out. And again, ask me how I know this. So I did assign an actual co-host to all my rooms for that reason. So anyway, we are Connections Over Coffee, and our main focus is to just get to know each other and to just build community and just get to talk with each other. But on a side note, one of the things that we're doing is giving back. It's our time to rise, and it's how we can give more, how we can serve more, how we can create a world of giving. And so my friend Steve Pipe wrote a book, Rise, and he asked me to write the foreword. And so if you go to our meetup or to our Facebook page under Connections Over Coffee, you'll see the link for the book if you want to read the book. And it's just a way that you can systematically give back around the world. He is one of the co-founders of a group called B1G1. And it's just the letter capital B and the number 1, and then the capital G and the number 1. And if you Google B1G1, you will see that they are an international group of giving, and any organization can apply to be on B1G1. And if they accept your cause, then folks like myself can just go in and give a flat amount each month, and it's dispersed between all of their giving platforms that they have actually on their page, their website page of B1G1. So anyhow, check that out if you get a chance. You don't have to remember all of that. You can just go to kathybinner.com and scroll down the homepage until you come to B1G1. I have a section on my website as well. So that's how I give back around the world, is I am a participant in that organization. And so that's our secondary goal. Now, one of the things that I'm doing as well for myself personally is I have created a scholarship program, and I lost my real estate partner about a year and a half ago. And we created, Kyle is on the call. He's driving. So say hello, Kyle. Are you still there?
Yep, I'm
He might
still
be.
here.
Very good. So Kyle and I, we created this scholarship program, and Kyle was literally Stephanie's partner in the real estate. I was just her partner in an investment group, but Kyle and Stephanie actually worked together personally in real estate sales. And so he literally was her real estate partner. And when we lost her, Kyle and I got together and we created the Stephanie Mila Jenkins Initiative, where we give away an educational scholarship once a year to folks that are getting into the real estate industry as being a realtor, getting licensed to be a realtor. And because Stephanie had a passion for real estate. So that's two ways that I'm giving back is number one, being in the B1G1 group. Number two, along with Kyle, creating the Stephanie Mila Jenkins Initiative. And then thirdly, I give away free meetups all month long. I have everything from how to build a better business. It goes through the whole building blocks of putting a business together, creating your website, doing your social media, how to market it, how to become a podcaster, a blogger, all of that. And out of that group, there was a smaller group that wanted to take a deeper dive into monetizing their blogs. And so I created a second free meetup where we talk all about monetizing your blog post. And then I'm the facilitator of the Ohio Writers Guild, and I interview brand new authors and try to raise them up around the world so that folks know about their creative masterpieces that they're writing. So I try to interview a different author every month. And so I have that lane, which is a free meetup. And then I teach folks how to create a mastermind and how to monetize a mastermind. And that's a free meetup. And then we have Fit as a Fiddle Plus, and we've just launched that one. That's our latest one. And I have a co-mod in that one. And we bring folks in to talk once a month. And again, it's a free meetup. We bring folks in to talk about whatever their passion is in the health industry. And so it's kind of a podcast type format there. So anyway, all of that is on my website, KathyBenner.com. So those are the three ways that I'm trying to give back and make the world a better place: the B1G1, the Stephanie Mila Jenkins Initiative, and then all of my free meetups. So with that, I want to pass the microphone over to Carmela. And Carmela, tell us a little bit about you. I personally am half-time in Canal Winchester, Ohio, which is right on the southeast edge of Columbus, and then half-time in the Bradenton, Sarasota area. I bought a condo down here, and I am currently in Bradenton, Sarasota at my condo. And we've had a sick friend in the hospital all week, so we've been at a friend's house all week helping her, and her husband got to come home yesterday. So kudos for her that he's now back home. And so now we're back at the condo. So, and we're getting new floors this weekend. So yeah, it's been a little crazy. So anyway, Carmela, tell us about where you're located, a little bit about you and what you do and how you're giving back. Carmela?
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Carmela, as Kathy said. Right now, I'm coming to you from Lima, Ohio. I'm in Northwest Ohio here. I'm kind of like a mess this morning because I was cleaning. I had my call and then I have an appointment. So it's like crazy day with the holiday, the Easter holiday, because I have family coming over. But I work with my husband part-time in his law office. So I usually work 3 days a week. Today would be a day that I would normally work and I would be coming to you from the office. But I took today off because I worked the other days. But I am a wellness advocate for doTERRA essential oils. So that's one of my passions, is just sharing about natural remedies for people, essential oils, and living a healthy and toxin-free life with people. I also am a partner with a girlfriend of mine, and we're just getting into real estate investing. So that's my other passion. Plus, I like to, I mentor and help young women, youth. It's kind of started with a young lady at our church. I've known her since she was little, and she asked me to mentor her. And then it came where I was the person they go to as being that confidant, just to kind of hang out with, get my, just to talk and share with. And I like being there for them. I am a people person, so I like to give back to others. And usually when they would call me, I'm the one that they know they can depend on to do things like that. But my ultimate goal, though, is really just sharing. And I also am a caregiver for my mom part-time. She's in early stages of dementia, and my dad is basically with her all the time, but there's times she just doesn't trust him and he can't handle it. So I'm back and forth to Marion a lot because unfortunately men don't get into it. So my brothers, they're not that much of a help. So pretty much it's on me, but I don't mind it at all. But I am one that just likes to encourage others. So I'm an encourager. Plus I like just sharing different things. And just recently I've just been helping other people that have become caregivers where, I've shared with them, even like with the oils, something that, they can do a hand massage or things like that, just to kind of make that person feel good. And it just does, wonders. But I've been kind of busy. I've been remodeling my house here in Lima. Plus I've been doing my house in Maryland, which hopefully I'll go there because I actually want to start a short. Kathy, you always have to correct me. I think, is it a short term?
Yes, yes. We commonly call it just an Airbnb. That it's kind of like when
Yeah.
you buy tissues, we call it a Kleenex. Well, Kleenex is actually a brand name. It's actually tissues, but we always go, hey, give me a Kleenex. Doesn't matter what the brand name is. We just kind of make it the same. Well, people started calling short-term rentals an Airbnb. They're like, oh, you have an Airbnb. Well, actually, you have a short-term rental. Airbnb is just one online travel site that you can use to advertise your short-term rental. So you actually have a short-term rental because once you get it up and running, Carmela, you can actually advertise it on more channels than just Airbnb.
Okay. Well, that's my ultimate goal. So the help, and I'm enjoying it. And it looks like I'm probably getting back into event planning because now I'm planning some baby showers. So I'm like Miss Jack of all trades, but it keeps me busy. And I love just being able to help others and just to share. So that's probably me all in a nutshell. There's probably some other quirks there, but that's all about me.
Carmela, thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate that. Carmela and I actually have an additional connection is that her brother is married to my niece. So we're family. So anyway, welcome Carmela. She's my co-mod, my co-host, and I appreciate everything that you're doing. And I can't wait to see your short-term rental when you have it ready. So yes, I'm excited about that. One of my other free lanes that I have is I have a free meetup on how to create a short-term rental. And I have a free meetup on how to actually invest in long-term real estate as well. So there's a couple of my other lanes. I don't know if I mentioned earlier. Because I wanted to mention those, I'm going to segue over to Kyle. Kyle, can you share with us for a moment while you're driving? I know, keep your eyes on the road, but can you share a little bit about your background and how we're connected and how you're giving back?
Yeah, I'll do my best. Sorry, I'm driving a stick shift and the dog is jumping around all over me. But yeah, actually, I went to school for pre-med. I was studying biochemistry before I got into real estate. I met Stephanie at an open house and we got to chatting. She was a nurse before she got into real estate a long time ago too. And she was adopted and I was adopted by the one side of my family. So we just had a lot in common. And she's the one who got me into real estate. And yeah, we worked together for almost 10 years before she passed away, as Stephanie mentioned. And then so we did do that, the scholarship foundation in her name. And then continuing on her legacy in real estate, I just like to help educate people because a lot of people think that buying a house is so hard or so difficult, or you need so much money or such perfect credit, and you don't. There's really so many options out there to help people achieve the American dream of home ownership. Like, for example, right here in Ohio, if you were to use an FHA loan and you were a first-time buyer, the state of Ohio would actually grant you 2% of your down payment. And with an FHA loan, you only need 3%. So you really only need to come up with 1% cash out of pockets for a down payment. And your credit score doesn't have to be perfect. There's all kinds of programs out there to help people, legitimate programs to help people repair and improve their credit. So that's what I try to do. I just try to educate people and help them get out of the renting cycle so they can start to try to build some equity and leave a legacy for their children and grandchildren.
Kyle is quite inspirational in our group. We have a group called the Happy House Hunters. Again, we have a free meetup where we just give away as much information as we can because the tide rises all ships, as I like to say. But Kyle is my co-mod and co-host in our Happy House Hunters group. So each free meetup that I have a co-mod or co-host. And so that's where Kyle and I, again, we connected through Stephanie, and we just remain connected in the real estate industry. And he helps us with our boots on the ground. So for those of you that are in the Columbus, Ohio area, if you're interested in real estate, we actually take you through properties, and we show you the good and the bad, don't we, Kyle?
Yeah, we get to see it all.
Yes, we do. So I want to welcome Debbie. Hi, Debbie. I'm glad you could join us. So we're going to circle back around to you, Debbie, but thank you for jumping in. I want to go to Jennifer next. Jennifer is my daughter. And so Jennifer, tell us a little bit about you, where you are, and how you're giving back.
My name is Jennifer. Kathy's daughter. I reside just about 4 miles away from my mama. Never went far. Hopefully my kids keep that same tradition. Fingers crossed. I am a virtual assistant and social media manager. I'm slowly getting into web design and branding for small businesses. I also run the back end of my husband's property maintenance company. We do a lot of stuff for residential, landlords, commercial properties, anything from mowing to snow plowing to just pretty much anything and everything. So I run the back portion of his. I do payroll, I do scheduling, invoices, estimates, things like that. I am just coming into the group, so I don't really have anything set in stone for giving back, but I have started creating some videos that I want to put together that just kind of showcases people how to do things on social media that maybe they don't know how to do, setting up pages on Facebook, learning how to create content, how to repurpose one piece of content into multiple pieces that you can utilize throughout the entire month. So those are all things that I want to put together and offer people so that they can, keep going with their social media. Because to be quite honest, it can be a lot. It can be overwhelming, making sure that you're staying consistent in front of your customers, making sure that you're putting out the content that they want to see. So any and all help that we can get as small business owners is always huge. So that's about it for me, other than my 3 kids, and that will just bore you to
That's
death.
another story, right?
That's a whole nother story.
Yeah,
But you have gorgeous 3 kids.
yeah, I'm sure we have a lot of moms maybe in the group. And so did your mom ever tell you that, one day you're going to have someone just like you?
Yeah, I have 2 of them just like me. 2 of the 3 are just like me. So thanks, Mom. Thanks for that.
I like to say that the mother's curse lives on.
Times 2. I have one good one.
Oh,
have one.
I love it.
One good
I
one.
love it. Anyway, all joking aside, she has great kids. Of course, they're my grandkids, and they're all great kids. Yeah. but they do have their moments. So I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Debbie, are you prepared to share? Tell us a little bit about you. Debbie is also in several of our free meetups that we get together monthly. And she also, and I'll let her tell you more about it, but she also has a podcast, Fireside Chat with Debbie Marks. So Debbie, share a little bit about what you do and how you're giving back.
Okay. Thank you, Kathy. I appreciate that. Yes, I am Debbie Marks, and I enjoy lots of things. I right now am really into wanting to grow my podcast with Fireside Chat with Debbie Marks. I have a YouTube channel where you can find the recordings of this, and it's simply Debbie Marks on YouTube. And I really enjoy it very much because I'm really learning a lot, and all the women that are there they feel the same way. In fact, I interviewed Carmela here a month or two ago, and but I've been wanting to interview men, and we just had a great one this month, and that is also on my YouTube channel, and it's with Mason Van Dyke. He's a storyteller. So I'm getting into the spring season now, where we're getting ready, or we have been, I should say, prepping all of the plants that we're going to put in the garden. And what I mean by that is we start them all indoors, and then by May, middle of May, usually the last frost will go through, so we'll be safe to put the tomatoes in, and our peppers and all of the other things that we're going to be growing this year. And then and I'm doing a blog called Debbie's Organic Homesteading to share with all that. I have started it last year, but I wasn't very good, but yet I was very good with doing pictures, taking pictures, and also videotaping a lot of everything that I did. And now what I'm doing is I am looking forward to start becoming more active in my church. I'm getting out of my bubble. I've realized that the last 2 years kind of had a bad impact on me personally. And it's too easy to, I'll just stay home. And we all don't realize how many of us, have done that. And it all comes because we were in 2 years, almost 3 years of COVID. And for those of us that were extremely active, always out pretty much every day, meeting people and things, I kind of became I'll stay at home. I'll do Zoom, and, that'll be good. So I'm becoming more active in my church, and I'm starting that by this Sunday, meeting and greeting people that are going to be coming into church. And that, I want to start giving back a little bit more and more, just kind of getting into it easy enough. And thanks, Kathy, for letting me share.
You're very welcome, Debbie. Debbie actually is the host of Fireside Chat with Debbie Marks, and her way of giving back there is that she highlights whomever she gets to interview. She highlights what it is that they do and the message that they're bringing to the world, and she does that, of course, all complimentary, just to help. Again, the tide rises all ships. So that's her way of giving back. And then her blog post on her homesteading. Boy, I tell you, with the prices of things these days and being health conscious. It's such invaluable information in her blog post on homesteading and how to live a little more organically. So I really appreciate you, Debbie, and thank you so much for sharing. I really appreciate you being here and sharing your wealth of knowledge. I want to move on over to Monica. Monica, would you like to share a little bit about you and where you're physically located? I think we shared before I started recording. And then let us know a little bit about what you do or how you are giving back. It doesn't have to be in a job either. For those gals that are new on the call today, it can be a ministry, it can be a passion, it can be any time, any way that you give back. Monica?
Okay. Hi, my name is Monica, and I'm here in Ohio, north of campus. Everyone knows OSU, at least most people out in the world. So, oh my gosh, I am very excited about being here. It's my first time. So I am a school teacher. That's what takes up quite a bit of my time. I'm also an artist, but the reason I joined here is because I had joined Kathy's, I don't see the name, but the blog meetup.
The newbie bloggers, yes.
Okay, so then school started again. So I do have a side hustle that I'm very newish, because just as Debbie was saying, just as I did the LLC part, COVID hit. So then I got used to doing the COVID thing and now online teaching. So I do want to go back into getting my words out there. It's called Reclaiming Yourself Now, and I work as a narcissistic abuse recovery coach. I was raised by a covert narcissist. And quite honestly, when the medical professional that diagnosed the person I was married to, he also said, how was it? It's nothing to worry about. It just means he has a rock star mentality. So you'll need to make a big deal about him when he comes home. Praise him as much as you can. And every once in a while, throw in a sexy number and show him a good time. That to me is malpractice, because that is not, that is not okay what he said. And when things started going a bit rough in the marriage, as they do, I started reading about narcissists, and all of the information at the time was about the overt narcissist. And the person I was married to didn't exhibit his narcissism in the same way that an overt narcissist does. Then I mentioned it to a friend. She was a new friend because our boys went to school together. They have the same names. And so when kids become friends at school and want to have sleepovers, the moms, get to know each other. And she said, there's no way he's a narcissist. In fact, Norm is the narcissist, and everyone in the community knows that. So to hear that from her gave me some false hope, which grew into what I call toxic hope. So my goal is to make sure no other woman does 30 years trying to twist herself around to meet the needs of a covert narcissist. So I do struggle with time and mental power, because the teaching job that used to energize me is quite draining nowadays. The education system in the US is broken. So I guess the best way I can describe it. So I would like to be on podcast. I am writing a book about covert narcissists, because their behaviors, they do fit all of the characters of NPD, all the characteristics, but they show up differently. The covert is the Mr. Nice Guy. And everything is about being the nice guy. And in that way, they will justify their cruelty. It's like, what? All I did was, oh my God, I can't do anything right. So then they go into victim if it's just clear that they were not being the nice guy there. Mm-hmm. So it is a very mentally, I don't know if I could say the word, but it's a beep. So that's what it is. And that is what it is. without kidding. So I do have a great meetup and I provide value. I would like to do coaching full time. So I'd like to get my book out, my social media. Jennifer is just, oh, what I say? What? Ah, and then something happens like, oh my gosh, too late to post now. So I love to connect with you. But that's pretty much who I am. And I love the idea of being able to connect here. I hope I made sense. Are there any questions?
You did, Monica. Thank you so much. No, your information is so your message is so important, and your information was spot on. And we have a lot of ways in my organization that we can help promote you and highlight you. Not only in the newbie bloggers, because we have a group there that is blogging. And so that's a great way to start to get your message out so that folks can get to know, like, and trust you and your message. It's just a nice way to do that. And you can post that blog so many different places these days with social media. There's so many ways that you can highlight your message. And then, of course, in our authors group, our Ohio Writers Guild, we can interview you there. Debbie could interview you on her Fireside Chat with Debbie Marks. There's all kinds of ways that we can promote you. And so, just keep on keeping on and stay connected. And I love, yes, I can tell that your message is your passion because, again, you've lived it for 30 years plus.
Plus,
and,
yes.
and you understand all the nuances of that topic.
Of identifying it and not
Mhm.
questioning yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. It's
such a subtle thing that a lot of women talk themselves out of it for so many years. Like, oh no, it's not me. That's not me. That's not me. Yeah. So I get it. I get it.
Or
Yes.
if there are kids involved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I get it. So thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Thank
Diane.
you for allowing me.
Yeah. Lynn, how about you? Let's go over to you, Lynn. Tell us a little bit, again, tell us where you are physically located and what it is that you do, what your passions are, and how you're giving back.
Okay, well, thank you. This is my first day here, so I'm learning from all of you. I think at the beginning, I understood this was an entrepreneurial group, and Kathy had said to join because I'm not an entrepreneur, but I am at the beginning of a whole new stage of my life. So I'm very open to this. I'm from a family of entrepreneurs. I was married to an entrepreneur for 30 years, and that's a new journey. I've decided I'm out of the marriage, waiting for that to come to an end, which has been years, still not there. But I think financially the settlement will be generous and I will have a lot of avenues open to me. I'm kind of stuck at which avenue I want to go because I think I'm very fortunate that I could do anything I want. But being home 30 years with children, it was all about them and not me. So it's trying to find out what is my passion. I have 3 kids. One of them did move away, Jennifer. 5 hours. I'm a grandmother. She has 2 kids. So it's since school started, I don't see them as much. My middle daughter, I have 3 daughters. She's the oldest that moved away. My middle daughter's a COVID nurse. So she's had a very rough few years. Mental health has suffered. I worry about her. She copes with humor, which a lot of people would think she's fine, but as a mother, And my youngest is a 3rd year university, so she comes back and forth. So I say I have half a kid left. She comes back and forth. She's only about an hour and a half away. Before COVID, like I said, I was a stay-at-home mom, but I volunteered at the school. I was a fixture there. Hospital, I've been a volunteer there for a long time. In the Kidney Foundation of Canada, I've been there 10 or 12 years as well. But of course, none of that in the last 2 years. So that's only starting to start back up again. And like I said, I'm at this stage of, do I want to go back into all this volunteering? Do I want to start some kind of business? Do I want to take a job and just be an employee and have much less responsibility? I don't know. I think that's kind of why I'm here, is to learn and I'm checking out all my options. I think I'm very fortunate that I can kind of go any direction I want, which in one case, it sounds wonderful, but in other ways, very overwhelming. You can do anything. I am a dental assistant by trade. I worked in the dental field for 10 years. I worked for private dentists and I worked for the city of Toronto as well. So I don't know. I don't know what to do. Go back to what I know, which has changed. It's been 30 years since I've been in the dental world. Or I do something else. I don't know. So that's kind of why I'm here. I'm a bit of a blank slate.
Lynn, I get it. I get it. I spent 25 years in the cosmetology industry. And when I retired, I was like, what am I going to do?
Yep.
So yes, I get that.
Yep.
I
Yep.
get that.
Yep.
And I think your passion will find you instead of you finding your passion. I think as you move forward, you'll find things that you're interested in, and something is like the cream rises to the top. I think something will just be
I hope.
more interesting to you, and you'll just gravitate that direction is my
I hope.
guess. So
It sounds like you're into a lot of real estate. And for a few years, my sister and I did own a student house for university.
okay.
So we enjoyed that. It was very profitable at the end. So that kind of still draws me a little bit to this group as well. By the sounds, it sounds good. But yeah, I just don't know. Yep. I think I'm a bit of that, jack of all trades, master of none.
I get it. I get it. I get it. Well, jump into all of our free stuff, kathybinner.com. Just jump into all the free stuff and see what resonates the most with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. Yes.
I've got a
Thank
little.
you so much for sharing.
Thanks. Oh, and I am from Toronto, so I didn't say that before you asked me to. So I'm Canadian, so that might make a bit of a difference too in what I hear as well, right? Different things.
Again,
different
it might make
countries.
a difference in your passions, but I don't think there are any accidents. And I am, Mark and I we're spending more and more time researching different areas of Canada. So maybe us being here today is not by accident.
Oh, wonderful.
So I appreciate that. And a lot of my friends recently, for some reason, I just have this influx of friends and they're all in Hamilton, Toronto area. So anyway.
I'm
So
30
it's all
minutes
good.
from Hamilton. Yeah, I'm very close.
Yeah. I see Diane has joined us. Diane, we're just sharing with the group a little bit about physically where we're located and what it is that we're doing and how we're giving back. So Diane, would you like to share? I don't want to put you on the spot. I know you jumped in a little late, but would you like to share?
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Well, I'm right here in central Ohio. I actually live in Worthington, which is a northern suburb of Columbus. So we're right in the middle as you're heading up North High Street, Route 23. I actually worked for my husband for 12 years. I worked with him. And then last fall, he said, you know what, we've got this. So you don't have to stay. So I thought, okay, so I am branching out on my own. And in December of last year, I started a Shackley business, which is a direct sales business. It is with the oldest health and wellness business in the country. Shackley actually started in 1956 by Dr. Shackley. And Dr. Shackley was actually the first one to come up with the term vitamins. So in 1915, he actually produced the first vitalized minerals. And he was rubbing shoulders with Henry Ford, the Wright brothers. So it was a time when there was a lot of creativity, a lot of innovation. So Shackley has also evolved now into the 21st century. And we're offering vitamins and supplements for health, nutrition, weight loss. We also have a skincare line, and we also have a green cleaning line. So for your house, we offer non-toxic, all-natural cleaners. So I'm just starting that journey and learning about that. I have a great team. I love my upline and the other ladies that are on our team. We're having a lot of fun. But in the meantime, I am also looking for a part-time position. So I have a lot of experience in the office, customer service. I also am skilled at networking and business development. So if you know of anybody that would like an administrative assistant, I'm also looking for a part-time job. So that's where I'm at.
Are you-
Diane, thank you so much for sharing. Yes, thank you.
Are you looking part-time at home or in an office somewhere?
Either way, either way.
I know that my insurance company is desperately hiring for an administrative assistant. It's in Lancaster, so I don't know about travel, but she called me and asked if I knew anyone who would come into the office, because they're desperate. She's retired and her son has taken over, and she has since had to go back into the office to help him. And she's like, wait a minute, I left. I don't
Oh,
I don't want to come back and answer phones. So I told her, I said, I'll just put it out there anytime. So
oh, well, thank you, Jennifer. You know, Lancaster might be a little bit too far for me to drive since I'm in northern
Mhm.
end of Columbus.
yeah,
That would be a ways to drive, but thank you.
no problem.
We'll definitely keep our eyes and ears open, Diane. And Monica is in Worthington area. So yeah, so Diane and Monica are close there in the around the outer belt of Columbus, close to Worthington. I want to go around and I want to just chat a couple of things. Kyle, do you have your hand up? Yes.
Yeah, I wanted to say, sorry, to the gal in Canada. Sorry, I missed your name. I was driving.
Lynn.
Is that Lynn? Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say to you, you said your mind is blank or your mind is open. You're not sure what to do. I just wanted to say, be as open-minded as you can, even something you previously had ruled out and thought wouldn't be interesting. Because like me personally, I never wanted to go into sales. My family owns a car dealership, and so all of my relations are salespeople. And I actually spent the better part of my life actively trying to avoid going into a sales and commission-based industry. But once I tried it, I loved it, and now I'm here to stay.
Okay, thank you for that thought, because that would be me too. Nope, that's not me.
Yeah, Kyle, that's a good point. Yeah. Yes. Thank
Yeah.
you for that. That is definitely a good point.
Yeah,
I
thank you.
want to go around and talk briefly. Monica had to jump off. She had another appointment, but she wanted to come in while she could, but she had to jump off and move on to another commitment she had this morning. But I want to talk about being fit. And being fit means more than exercise. When we talk about being fit, we think, oh, we got to go to the gym and work out, for 3 hours every day. And that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about keeping your mind and body active. And I want to go around and what is your best tips on keeping your mind and body active? Because staying active, and I know Carmela's taking care of her mom with the onset of dementia. And when you research all of the dementia stories, oftentimes they say that to try to help to stay off dementia is to keep yourself mentally active. Now, I'm not saying her mom wasn't mentally active, but I'm saying that is some of the research that's going into it, because I don't want to get too deep into, and some of you may already be way ahead of me, but I don't want to get too deep into all the ways that the mind works in this particular conversation. But as you try something new, your brain actually makes new avenues in the brain that were not there previously when you do something new. And so all of the medical research tells us to keep our minds mentally active, and then of course our bodies physically active. So for me, it's just little things. Number one is I'm always about the adventure. And so whenever I find a new place to go or something to do, I'm always the yes person. I'm always one to say, yes, let somebody go, hey, do you want to do this? Sure, I'll try it. Because it keeps me physically active and it keeps me mentally active. It makes me think my way through those things. I never want to get stuck in the rut physically or mentally. And one of the things I like to do physically, and especially when I'm here in the Bradenton, Sarasota area, because the weather is always so darn nice down here, And it's getting nice back in Ohio, and it's getting nice in Canada. It's coming. Spring and summer is coming. I like to walk a 5K every day. Now you're thinking, oh my gosh, you know, I see these walks posted out there. And again, some of you may be way ahead of me. You might be running marathons because I don't know some of you personally, but you might think that a 5K seems undoable and not doable, but I want to tell you that it takes about 20 minutes to walk a mile. Even the slowest of us, we can walk a mile in about 20 minutes. And so if you walked for 20 minutes after breakfast, 20 minutes after lunch, and 20 minutes after dinner, you will have walked a 5K, because a 5K is like 3.11 miles. And so just walking 3 times a day for 20 minutes each time, you will have done a 5K every day. Now, you certainly can do, you know, all 5K, all 3 miles at one time. And again, if you're the slowest of walkers, you know, you're going to spend about an hour out there, give or take, walking your 3 miles. And the other day, Mark and I, we went to an air show, and we ended up walking 7 miles just at the air show in one day. And you think, I couldn't walk 7 miles. Well, I bet you're walking more than you realize. So the first thing that I did on my phone is I put an app on there that counts my steps, and it also then converts it over into how many miles that is. And so you'd be amazed, I think, at how many miles you're actually walking. But my goal is a 5K every day, and that keeps your heart healthy. That keeps the oxygen flowing to your brain. And then do something different. Take a different route when you go to the store. Where you know, how many times do we drive somewhere and we're so used to driving a particular route, we don't remember driving the route. Could we drive it so often? And so take a different route, go a different way, where you have to stop and think, now, which way do I turn here? And make your mind, make your brain work a little harder. So those are my 2 tips is, you know, be adventurous, take different routes, do something different when you're out and about, and walk a 5K every day. So anyway, let's move over to Kyle. Kyle, what are your tips to stay fit mentally and physically?
I recently read the book Miracle Morning, and I've been implementing that in the morning. You'd want to dedicate time to yourself, because if you say, oh, I'm going to go to the gym later, I'm going to read that book later, I'm going to write in my blog later, you know, the day always has a way invariably of getting away from us, right? So if you can dedicate some time in the morning, even if it's just 5 minutes, just dedicate some time to each of one of your little passion projects. That's what I do. I get up, I make my coffee, and I do a little bit of yoga every morning. I've got scoliosis, which is a bad back. And if I don't stay stretched and limbered up, my back will seize and I become immobile. So I prioritize that in the morning. I read, I write, and I stretch every morning.
Great tips. I love that, Kyle. I love that. And yes, I have read that book. Yes, it's a great way to start your morning. Carmela, how about you? What are your tips and tricks?
Well, because as you know, I'm always taking care of someone else. And I finally said I need to start doing self-care on myself. So before I actually put my foot on the floor when I wake up in the morning, and I'm an early riser, I started, you know, how they have that U version, like the Bible thing. Well, you can have like different plans. So I have picked several plans where I do something. It could be for 5, 7, however many days, but something that is motivating me. So I try to do that daily, because like Kyle says, sometimes you have the best laid plans and something gets in the way. And so I make sure before I get up that I actually, you know, do one of those things. I did start going back to the gym. I have a personal trainer now, and by golly, some days it's like, you know, why did I do this? You know, I do so much better walking and on my own. But basically, I had to start somewhere, because I know if I get someone that's going to be hard on me and I start to focus, and once I get on the track, then I'm good. But I was trying so much by myself that I'm like, I needed that extra person to give me that push. So now I'm like there. And so it's like important to me. And with the way our weather's been, it's been kind of hard. So to get out and walk, but now that it's getting better, I'll probably get out and start doing that. But it was interesting to know about the 5K because I don't even know how many miles I walk, because I would go up the road to the high school track at Shawnee, and I would do like literally 12 laps around it. And then after a while, I would go up and down the bleachers. Not like Rocky, but you know, it gets me fit. I'm a bear and I get fat in the wintertime. That's just me. Spring and summer, then I drop it and I'm healthy. I do things backwards, but that's kind of how I keep my mind, you know, going. And plus, I go to a lot of support groups for Alzheimer's and dementia, and I'm part of the Northwest Ohio Alzheimer's Association. So there's times when they've had Zoom and events that I will speak on and kind of encourage. So that kind of keeps me that open, because I'm sharing and I'm helping someone else. So that helps me a lot too, because then I'm also doing research and I like to hear everyone's story, and everyone has a different story. No two people are the same. My mother-in-law and father-in-law were totally different. My mom is way different. So, but it's interesting, and it keeps me active because I'm doing that research and I'm reading and things like that. But that's how I keep my mind fit. Plus I live with Farley, an attorney. So come on, I gotta do something.
Yes, I get that. Does he ever bounce case ideas off of you, or since you're in the office?
All the time. And then he gets a lot of court appointed cases. So sometimes some of them are characters, and it's kind of funny. So he'll ask me my opinion or have me listen to something. What do you get out of this? And I'm like, oh my gosh, how do you do it? I go, I would probably, flip out on people. So that's why I do what I do. So, but it's interesting. He likes to read a lot too. And he had been in the midst of writing a book. And he stopped. So I says, you really need to start doing something for yourself. So I kind of might send him off to a hotel or someplace where he has no interruption and he can go back and focus, like for a weekend or so. So
I do writers retreats at the bed and breakfast. I'll just toss that out.
Really?
Yes.
I will keep that in mind, because that might be the perfect thing for him. So
yeah, because I do bring writers in, newbie authors in, and we do a writers retreat right at the bed and breakfast. So yes, so I'll just toss that out there. But thank you for sharing, Carmela. Yes, thank you. Jennifer, how about you? What are your tips and tricks? You're on mute, sweetie.
I just noticed, I'm like, why is that red? Oh yeah. So a couple weeks ago, I saw a thing for, it's a 3x3x3 rule for the gym. I don't have a lot of time to work out. Even throughout the day, spreading it out is just horrible. I have teenagers, but I also have an 8-year-old. So he still is not, self-sufficient yet, unlike the teenagers. But my 3-3-3 rule is I go to the gym. I get up every morning at 5:30. From drive time at the gym, from my house to the gym, I listen to a manifestation podcast. It's called the Manifestation Collective. So that's really nice in the mornings to kind of get my head right, and start the day with like positive thinking and, I can do this attitude. And then I get on the treadmill and I walk for 30 minutes at an incline of 3 at a speed of 3. So it just follows the 3-3-3 rule. And then I go tan, which I know is not good for you, Mom. I don't need a lesson. Just throw that in there real quick. And while I'm on the treadmill, I created an Apple playlist that is nothing but women empowerment songs. So I listen to any genre. It doesn't matter. If you have any song ideas, toss them my way. But any genre, and it is all about being a woman, being a strong woman, being a powerful woman, what women can do, anything along those lines that kind of gets me in that mentality. And my husband doesn't like it. so much because I kind of get a little like mouthy when I come home. No. He's like, were you listening to those women songs again? I'm like, yep. He's like, I can tell. So, but that's kind of just my mornings. And I've been doing that for 2 weeks now. And I absolutely love it. I love it.
That was a great share. So this was, and again, Jennifer's my daughter, but this is news. This is stuff that I didn't realize she was doing either. Of course, I've been gone for a week, and I'm down in Sarasota, Bradenton area for another few days. And so congratulations, Jennifer. That's a great big step. So it's just keeping it going. Yes, I can see that. Anyway, how about, let me see, where do we want to go next? Let's go over to Debbie. Debbie, how about you? What are your tips and tricks?
Jennifer, will you share your playlist with me? I would love to.
I will comment my email, and anybody who wants all the songs that I have on my playlist, email me and I will send them right over to you.
Oh, yes. It sounds like something I would like to listen to the minute the alarm goes off, so that I won't go into snooze mode. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Hey, I
And
do
I
want
hate
to jump
that.
in and say one thing, Debbie, before you share. I know some of you may need to jump off. You may have other commitments this morning and you might need to jump off and move on. If you want to share with the group, put your connect information in the chat and I will share it in the replay. And you can find the replay at kathybinner.com, and you just scroll down on kathybinner.com to the Connections Over Coffee, and you can actually tap in and listen to all of our replays. And if you want to share your connect information there, just put it in the chat. It's up to you if you want to connect with folks outside the group. So Debbie, back to you.
Okay. Oh, thanks, Kathy. That's a great information. And everybody has a great plan. And I can't say that I have one, but I'm looking for something that will keep me motivated all day. Because I find that I don't know, I just lose my strength or my power to keep going for the day. I don't know exactly, what's causing it, but these have been great ideas, and I appreciate everybody sharing with me. And I don't really have anything to add, Kathy, but I did remember the one thing you said, that if you're at your desk and you get up and you just walk in place for 15 minutes, that if you do that so many times in a day that you've done a 5K. Is that correct?
Yes, as a matter of fact, even the slowest of us can walk a 20-minute mile, and I can kind of push myself up to a 15-minute mile, but I have a tendency to start getting slower as I'm walking if I don't have music to keep the pace. And so I found on YouTube, I just went to YouTube and I just kind of searched for, Carmela has to hop off early. Yes, thank you, Carmela. Anyway, I just searched on YouTube for a 15-minute mile song. And so if I'm sitting at my desk and I know that I'm going to have a long office day that day for some reason, and I've got computer work to do, I will just jump over to the YouTube 15-minute walk video on YouTube, and I just stand up and do it right next to my desk. So anyway, yes, and a 15-minute mile, if you did that 3 times a day, you would have done your 5K.
Thank you, Kathy. I thought I remembered that.
Yes.
And the comments about the songs and that I see there, it's like, oh yeah, I remember that song. And so that's going to be a great help for me. And I really appreciate all the thoughts. So I'll turn it back over to you, Kathy.
Thank you, Debbie. Thank you for your share. Lynn, how about you?
I'm like you, I'm that bit of a get up and go. Funny story, last summer, on a Sunday, somebody was had a vehicle moving business that needed to have a little hovercraft, believe it or not, delivered to Yellowknife. I don't know if anybody knows where Yellowknife is, but it was 50-hour drive straight north
Wow.
in their 34-foot RV. So me and a friend left on the Monday, the very next day, within 24 hours, and just set sail in a 34-foot RV, pulling a 20-foot hovercraft 50 hours north into the bush, and of course broke down in the bush. No cell reception in construction. So yeah, it was so fabulous. When I got back, I rented myself an RV, went away for 3 days, me and my dog. And it was great. It was great. So I'm that kind of, yeah, I'm up for anything as well. And the
And
physical.
that keeps you very mentally active and physically active because you're out there.
Oh yeah, there was no map. It was a matter of when we had cell reception, quick, find out where we go and where we turn before we lose cell reception. So it was really fun. It was really fun, but it was within 24 hours. You want to go tomorrow? Oh,
I need to hang out with you more.
It opened a whole new world. So like I said, me and my dog took off for 3 days in our own RV I rented when I got back. It was lovely. It was lovely. So
I love
anyway,
that.
and I've met a new friend. Like I said, I'm trying to get out of this marriage, but too many years. I wasn't sitting around waiting for that to actually officially end, because good thing I didn't. I'm 3 years into it and still not at the end of it. So I've met somebody and he just loves to walk, go, do. One of the reasons I'm getting out of my marriage is he's just a workaholic. He just wants to work. And yeah, so this is so much fun because it was his sister that said, you two want to take this RV to the Northwest Territories? Sure. So he's always go here, do that, do this, go here. So on my bucket list, I've made a list, and sure enough, I've got a few things checked off on my bucket list already. So he's a walker, he's a goer, he's a doer. So it's been great, even down to puzzles. Even as a kid, I was never interested in puzzles, but we spent hours putting puzzles together and Lego. Just so many. Yeah, just keep your mind active. I love to read, but I have a very hard time finding books that interest me. I'm not that fantasy kind of person. I'm the documentary kind of girl. So it's really hard to find people I really want to know a lot about. So I would love to find more books. I would love to be able to sit and read, but that's not happening. But the puzzles and the going here and learning things, and as soon as there's a question in a group, I'm the first one on my phone to find the answer. So yeah, I like to keep busy. My mom is 92 and the same thing as Camilla. There's 4 of us looking after, well, sorry, 3 out of 4 of us are looking after her. I have that one brother that, the narcissist, when Monica was talking about a narcissist, it wasn't my husband, it was my brother. So the other 3 of us, another brother and my sister, take care of my mom. So I've been very fortunate. We rotate. I'm the dental, dentures, all that kind of stuff. My sister's a nurse, looks after all the health stuff. And my brother's the POA for finances, so he looks after the money. So my mom's really looked after well by the 3 of us. We get along really well. We really work well. So yeah, I'm eager to get on to the next stage of my life, and I'm looking everywhere, even in Northwest Territories. That was so fun. So yeah, I'm go.
Well, good for you. Good for you. And yes, we must get to know each other better. Thank you so much for jumping on today. And please share your contact information in the chat.
Sure.
Debbie, do you have your hand up? Did you have a question or a comment?
I have a comment. She reminded me of something that I forgot all about. And that was that whenever my mom and I were out, or when we were together, I always made sure that I took her places. Well, one particular time we went on a however long it lasted. But I became known between her and I that if it said dead end, I went anyways, just to see where it would take me. And it was absolutely amazing, the places you could end up. And I think they just stick that sign out there just to keep the population away. And one time in particular, well, two things. We took this dead end road. We were up in New England, and we found Kitty Bunkport. Is that what it's called?
Yes,
For the Kennedys.
yes.
And then another time, we ended up driving through an old Plymouth Rock cemetery, which was amazing, absolutely amazing. That how they put plots or buried people in amazing places. I mean, one was a hill with two little windows and a door, and and it was evident that they layered people on top of each other, because one in particular had 30 names on it. So you know, it's just amazing.
Wow,
Hi,
that's
Jennifer.
awesome.
I
So-
love all of those experiences, Debbie. That's a great share. Thank you so much for that. Diane, how about you? What are your tips and tricks?
Well, I do need to exercise more. Now that the weather's getting warmer, I should go for walks. Because if I do, I think it's 4 laps around our neighborhood, that equals a mile.
Okay.
So I should do that. Yesterday I got outside and did some gardening. So I got some vitamin D, and I really enjoy gardening. I enjoy listening to books on audio.
Mhm.
So I can squeeze that in, like when I'm doing dishes or when I'm driving. So I do enjoy that. And something else I enjoy is volunteering. Right now I'm part of a knitting group. So I just learned how to knit this year. And the blankets that we're making, we're donating to refugee families. So we just completed our first blanket last month. And you can tell it's a beginner's blanket, but the Afghan family, they're a refugee family from Afghanistan. They were very happy to receive it. So we donated that to them, and now we're working on a second Afghan, and still learning how to knit.
Now,
And then there's
that
ladies
is
from
so
my church.
fun.
Yeah. So we're learning,
Wow.
we're building relationships with one another.
Mhm.
So it's a win-win-win.
Lovely.
I love it.
So,
I
yeah,
love it.
socializing.
Yes, thank you so much for your share. And we're glad that everybody is on the call today. I really enjoyed getting to know everybody better. And that is what we're all about. It's just about having connections over coffee and getting connected. And some of the folks had to jump off because they had other commitments today, which I get. We're about 10 minutes over on our time. But thank you so much for joining in today. And please come back and see us again. We're here every month. And so put it on your calendar. If you want to check out any of the other free meetups, go to kathybinner.com and just scroll down to the calendar. It's there on the homepage, and all of our meetups are there with connections on how to actually connect into the call. So just go to the calendar and you can connect to anything that we're doing. So we'd love to have you. Anyway, I want to say it's time to go. And I know this has been a lot of fun, and it's so fun that we can connect no matter where we're located. And it's also fun. My computers weren't working today. I know I need to buy a new computer, and I've been dragging my feet. I know that's my problem. But it's so easy for me to just jump on the phone and do the call anyway. So I love that. I'm on my cell phone instead of my computer, and it works just as well. So thank you so much for joining me today. And we will see everyone next month. I'll wait just a moment. Did everyone get their contact information put in the chat? If you want to share, you don't have to, but if you want to share, put your contact information in the chat. So did everyone get a chance to do that wants to?
I did. Mhm,
Yes?
I have.
Okay, because I didn't want to end the call and if you still wanted to add in there. And Kyle, thank you for being on with us this morning. And Carmela, again, is my co-host, and she had another phone call. She works in the office with her husband in the attorney's office, and they had a commitment this morning. And don't forget, Debbie's got her podcast, Fireside Chat with Debbie Marks, and she just entered her stuff in the chat as well. And so if you want to get on her podcast, if you have a message and want to get on her podcast, contact her. Because she's lining up her guest for the season. So with that, we're going to say goodbye. Again, check out kathybenner.com. Join us for all the free stuff. We'd love to have you and talk to you soon.
Yes,
See
thank you.
everyone later.
Happy Easter.
Yes,
Happy
thank you.
Easter.
Happy Easter. Bye, everyone.
Bye.